Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I am going to wait to see who comes into the room, and then I'm just going to proceed. And if anyone catches me also on the replay, this is about Real Housewives of Potomac. And as you know, they have names assigned to the Real Housewives. This one is Jiminy Crickets. Okay. This is season 6 of the Real Housewives of Potomac. And this episode is 3 of season 6. And I'm just going to get right into it. It shouldn't take too long. I was going to actually do Real Housewives of Potomac and Real Housewives of New York this morning on, this Saturday morning coffee with Bree. However, I think I'm going to wait till later and do the Real Housewives of New York. And I'm also going to be doing later on tonight Love and Marriage Huntsville. That's one of my faves. So I've got to do that. And I still need to do a lot of other videos. I'm thinking of doing a backup channel because of what happened to Bondi Blue this week. I don't know if you guys know this, but her channel was taken down. And she is really kind of my role model on here for YouTube. I absolutely adore her. She's what they call the OG of YouTube, of Black female YouTubers anyway. And so she is under the channel right now, I think, of Relax with Blue, which she's had up for a while. I do go over to Relax with Blue whenever she's doing videos over there as well. So if you want to catch Bondi Blue, you can go over to Relax with Blue. I think that's the name of it. It appears to be a lot of other people out here backing her. So if you just still do a search on YouTube for Bondi Blue, you will find other people who will also direct you to the right language for the channel. So let's get right into it. This is Real Housewives of Potomac, and I'm so late doing this. You know, Sitting here, I love Starbucks. I'm having a caramel macchiato, as I always have. I have a venti. I used to do the tall, then I did the grande, and I just said, forget it, I'm going to do the venti. you know. Um, but anyway, one of the things about Real Housewives of Potomac is Robin, right? She's one of the main topics out here because people think she should be off the show. However, they keep talking about her so much that I think that's why Bravo keeps her. Um, let's see here. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning. I thank you for showing up this morning. Do you watch Real Housewives of Potomac? Or do you follow me? How many of you actually follow me here on my channel? Because I heard that Google has been uh, unsubscribing people from channels. I don't know why they would do that or how that would happen, but that's what I have heard. And I'm concerned about what's going on out here, you know, in these YouTube streets with regards to people who resemble my complexion and color, because there seems to be a lot of bad energy from Google to us and even from Instagram to us. If you go on the Breakfast Club and you look at the interview that Charlemagne did with the CEO of Instagram, the man is completely um, culturally detached. He is culturally detached from the Black community. And sometimes, whenever you get people who are culturally detached, they only think about what it is that they don't want to hear. And they don't like to hear us talk and say good things about our community. They don't like to hear us lift up our community. They don't like to hear us bash people who go against our community. And to me, that's problematic. And I don't understand why, with all of the computer science engineers, African American computer science engineers, that we don't have our own YouTube. Go get someone. Can someone go do that, please? Okay, because they're doing it all over us and around us, and they're making laws. They're participating in congressional laws about how this internet is going to be run, and the fact that there is really not a legitimate representation of Black people or of Black internet businesses online. I don't I don't see how we're going to get a seat at that table. So I just want to put that out there. Um, but as I was saying about Real Housewives of Potomac, Robin's line, her tagline that she comes in on, it says, and I just paid attention to it this past weekend. It says, I may keep you waiting, but trust me, I'm worth it. Who in the HE double hockey sticks is Robin keeping waiting? Because it's not Juan. Juan is not waiting on her. Who is it that she's keeping waiting that's worth it? That makes her feel like she's worth it? I just don't get that tagline. If you know what she's talking about, please put it in the comments there. I feel like I'm talking so loud here. Let me move this mic. Am I loud to you all? Okay. It starts out, Robin is in the bed, you guys. And we've all had these moments where we just want to hang out in the bed. But when you have children and you have things that you need to do during the day, you put that on the back burner with the idea that, okay, I'll come back and I'll catch up on this rest later on, maybe when they're doing homework, you know? Um, she goes out, one comes in to get her, and she has a few more minutes on the clock before it's time for her to get up and get the boys, but we later learned that that's only 3 more minutes. So she wants that 3 more minutes of rest. And no matter how we are feeling as mothers, because I remember raising my son, no matter how I was feeling as a mom, I always did what I needed to do for him. Robin needs to be the example for her boys, just in a woman, because you're their representation of what they are going to one day pick as a wife, not just in how you look but in how you behave around your household, the things that you do. So the example that I saw, you know in that episode anyway, didn't shine light on her. uh, at the same time, you know what, Juan? You could have gotten those boys ready. Just because you're a male doesn't mean you can't get your kids ready. If you see she's hanging out, if she normally does that and you know that that's her normal routine, and she doesn't feel good on this one particular day, then Juan, you go get the boys ready. Give her that break. You know, I took a real good look at Juan in this episode because Juan is fine. Okay, Juan is a very good looking man. Okay, and however, when people drink a lot, their skin changes. It gets puffy, it gets discolored, and I am beginning to see some of those effects in Juan. I don't know if it's drinking too much or if he himself may need some rest. However, there's some discoloration in his skin that was not there before. So, um, the next scene goes over to Karen and Ray. They're in her bedroom. They're getting ready to launch the La Dame wig. Okay. I did not know that Karen had a wig line. At least I don't think I knew that. I knew she had a perfume called La Dame, but now I love how she is staying in line with her marketing, with her branding, keeping it at La Dame. So Karen, I think she has a website for her wigs. Maybe that's what she was launching. But it was funny because she says, we can go from the boardroom to the bedroom. That's her Kim and Queen wigs, from the boardroom to the bedroom. So I just thought that was a cute line. Karen always says whenever she's launching a new product, she always has this phrase, you know, I'm on a new journey. I can't do her voice, but she always says she's on a new journey. So this is her new journey. So next we go over, Giselle is meeting Ashley. Ashley looks like she is about to pop. And I think that in the next episode, we see her and Michael on the way to the hospital. She's about to give birth. Listen, when you give birth and get married, those are two of the biggest things in your life other than death. Okay. Giving birth and getting married are huge celebrations. So I get excited even today whenever I see other people, even if I don't know them. If I see a pregnant woman, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so pregnant, because it reminds me of like really good times and lots of parties, because the women in my community growing up were always pregnant. They were married though, okay? Um, so we have Giselle and Ashley meeting, and people love to talk crap about Giselle's fashions, What do you guys think about Giselle's fashions this season? Because I think that she has upgraded. She was very appropriately dressed. She had, oh, you guys, the earrings she had on. Every week I see a housewife that has something on that I have in my closet or in my jewelry box. Okay. The little earrings she had on, I have two sets just like them. You've probably seen me wear them in some of my other videos where I'm, on location. But she had on a yellow turtleneck top, which was very appropriate. Her fashion looked good. Well, thank you, ATA Lahaya. You said no, you're doing fine. I don't know what that means. But thank you. Okay, so you guys talk to me about Real Housewives of Potomac. So Sharon, you think Robin is lazy? A lot of people would agree with you. I'm twofold and kind of duplicitous about that because I think that she may I don't know what she normally does in the morning. This is my first time seeing her in a scene in the morning. So is that her normal routine or did she just need that day for rest, you know? Um but we go on. Giselle, I like her fashions. I'm really digging on her fashions. One of the things that I will say is when Real Housewives of Potomac first aired, 7 seasons ago, I loved Giselle. I liked her. She had this saying during the first episode of the first season where she said, uh, oh God, what did she say? When I walk into the room, oh my gosh, I can't even think of it. I'll come up with it later. But anyway, no, wherever I am in the room is the baddest seat. That's what she used to say. Wherever it is that I am in the room is the baddest seat. And so I like that. I like that little play on her little motto that season. I like her. I have not liked her fashion previously. I do like it this season. The sixth season, she seems to be giving fashion some life, and I think that people need to give her a break on that. She is not my favorite. I really liked Monique, and I thought Monique really demonstrated what a housewife should be, with the exception of that fight, right? Um, I also believe that Karen demonstrates it. And this year, I think Mia demonstrates it. And Ashley. The rest of those broads, Candace does not demonstrate housewife. Also, Robin does not. And as much as I like Giselle's fashions this season, she does not demonstrate housewife, but she's messy. So they're going to keep her. She's the one that the producers can go to and say, do this, and she'll do it. So because you have to know Karen and Giselle were very good friends for years. I'm thinking like a whole decade before they even came onto the show. And for her to completely turn the way she has on Karen, I think that's some producer ish mess going on. So the only thing I would say about her in terms of her improvement in this particular scene, I did like the little swirl of the ponytail coming down, but the part of her hair that was attached to the ponytail needed a little more life. And she needs to do something with her edges there. And that's all I'll say about that. She's a beautiful woman. I do agree with Ray. Her looks are on the way out, and she needs to either speak with Kim Kardashian on what to do about the skin to keep it alive, because every woman wants a man. I'm married, and I'll tell you, I still want my man. Every woman wants someone, you know, in their life. You don't want to be growing old by yourself. So at any rate, I would say she needs a little more maintenance to keep some of that aging from coming on. And, her and Ashley are sitting at the table. Ashley tells her she fills her in on what happened at the last event. And she talks about Mia, who said she had a clit rejuvenation. I cannot believe this is the first time people have heard about that because they were doing that on Real Housewives of Orange County years ago. I think Tamra had one. So this clit rejuvenation is not new. Um, so people are, I guess, fascinated by that, but women have been doing it. They do it sometimes after they have a baby. So that's that. So they go to the next scene. Robin is at her mother's warehouse or in her mother's garage or somewhere packing boxes to mail her new caps. The caps are named Embellished, and she has someone there with her. Skaya, I think is her name or her nickname. Uh, Askaya, something like that. I cannot. Let me see. Where did I put Askala? Askala. Yeah, that's a pretty name, Askala. Now watch a lot of people start naming their baby daughters Askala. So um, I like Robin's caps embellished. If I wore caps, I don't wear caps though. I don't really like caps. I like hats. Um, and I like what do you call them? Not bonnets, but the thing that Nick Cannon wears on his head a lot. I like those for women. Um, so they're packing the boxes, and I guess Ascala is going to be the new housewife. They're saying, you guys, that Ascala is going to take over Candace role. And so I see in the comments here, Sharon, you said that Giselle is not a fashionista. But don't you think she's doing better this season though? I like her. I like what she's doing this. And I'm not I'm not mad at the inside of her house. I mean, whatever the outside is, hopefully she can get that handled and taken care of. I said to you the last time, you guys, I'm not a person to throw shade at someone's home if that is the best that they can do. She has a place now for her and her daughters. They can call that home, and that's their blessing. I do like the inside of her house, though. From what I've seen, that bedroom part that they opened up, I liked that. And it looks clean. And I don't know, understand why she has the plastic chair. Maybe she just has that there for when they do the chat talk, the show that comes on after Bravo that she used to be on with Portia and some of the other women. Um, so from Below Deck, maybe that's why she has that there. But anyway, Wendy comes into Robin's warehouse. She's talking about her home essentials line. You guys, what do you think about Wendy this season? What is it that you haven't seen, Sharon? Sharon, are you saying you have not seen Giselle's home or the inside of her home yet? Do you watch Real Housewives of Potomac? I think my lives are getting real interesting. My lives are getting real interesting. Um, Getting real interesting. I'm going to move on. So they talk about Wendy's home essentials line. She says that she wants to develop this line, and we know that she's doing what most housewives do. They come on here, they get notoriety, and they bank on it. And I think that's a smart way to do business. I think that she should go ahead, if that works for her, go ahead and do it. I'm not a Wendy fan, though, I have to tell you. Maybe if they had a completely separate show for her and her family to bring out more of the issues going on between her and Eddie and why his family doesn't like her, that is a show that I can get with. In terms of her really fitting in with the Real Housewives of Potomac, I think that it's just not a good cut. It's not a good cut for me at all. I'm excited to see what Skyla brings, though. I want to know, and I probably should have done this. This is on my mind. I probably could do it now, even. I want to know how much money she makes per year. Is she married? Does she have kids? What is it that makes her a housewife? So next they move into Mia and Gordon's home, right? And Mia, I think, is very exotic looking, right? There are some there's some sides to her from the camera's perspective wherein she is very beautiful, and then there are other sides to her where she just has really very strong features, and you can see some of the need for an upgrade in Botox, quite frankly, you guys. You could see a need for that. I don't wear makeup. People ask me all the time. They think I wear makeup. I do not wear makeup. I do wear like eyeliner and mascara and lipstick. I love a good lipstick. But in terms of all the other stuff on your face, I recently did buy some contour to go under my eyes because I work a lot. I'm up late at night doing work, and as a result, if you don't get sleep, then you're going to get some discoloration around your eyes, and that they call that dark circles. So I have that issue right now that can be taken care of with some cosmetic stuff, So, but I digress on that. I wanted to say that because I'm talking about Mia, so I also felt like, well, if I'm going to talk about her and her looks, let me talk about mine. um, but Mia is exotic looking. So, what do you guys think about Mia on the Real Housewives of Potomac? Because I think that she is by far one of the most exotic looking women on, amongst all of the Real Housewives. I think Tamra is gorgeous. Tamra over on Real Housewives of Orange County, I think that she's gorgeous and she's coming back next season. For those of you who do not know, Tamra is coming back. Tamra and Heather Dubrow is coming back next season as well. So Mia gets an invite from Giselle to go to Ashley's spa day. This is a event that Giselle has planned for Ashley because Ashley is about to give birth and she wants to pamper her. Sharon, you say no comment on Mia. Why no comment? Uh, why no comment? You have to think something when you see her, right? Um, this is the thing I love about Mia too. Mia's from North Carolina. I'm a North Carolina girl. Her and her husband are from North Carolina, So there you have it. Who else is from North Carolina? Ebony on Real Housewives of New York, North Carolina. Listen, I love it. I'm loving the North Carolina girls, honey. NC girls on the Real Housewives of, the Bravo channels. I'm really liking seeing that representation. So they get this invitation to go to Ashley's spa. And so they go back and forth um, talking about her mom and her history. And so we learn some things about Mia, and I think we learned that last weekend actually about her parents being, um, they were substance abusers, and that has really affected her in a negative way. So let me see, what is the next scene here? Because I have here, oh, the cameras are going back and forth between the the exchange between Wendy and Mia. That's the cameras. They're going back and forth, whenever they were having their debate. And Wendy is saying that, let's see here. Where did I get to here? I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Oh, Wendy is talking about she's no longer the old Wendy, right? And for me, I'm thinking no one really knows the old Wendy because all we've seen is what she has given us last season and this season. So we're still, I think, at least getting to know Wendy, but she's acting as if we know her because she keeps saying she's the old Wendy. I don't know. I digress on that as well. Um, let's see. Oh, this is when they go back to the scene with Robin in the warehouse packing the hats, and she and Wendy are having the exchange. And when Robin didn't understand why it is that Wendy intervened whenever she was trying to get Karen told. And Wendy explained to Robin that she kept her from going after Karen because the event was at her house and she wanted it to be peaceful and she didn't want to have any negativity. So, okay. Then it goes into Candace's house, right? And it shows what it shows Candace saying, um, oh my goodness, I can't read my writing, you guys. I have these notes. Okay, it says that the one thing that she might not suck at is being a mom. Okay, and I don't know. Candace has a lot of growing to do, I think, before she gets into the mommy phase. Plus, I look at her and Chris, and her and Chris really do not have. I don't know. You never know when God puts a baby inside of you, he meant it to be there. He meant it to be born. So I don't want to say she's not at that point of being a mommy. At the same time, Candace, I think, needs a lot of therapy. I really do. I think Candace needs a lot of therapy. There are a lot of things going on with her. And then the fact that she cries every time someone says anything to her, I don't know if that has to do with the fact that she's still trying to grow up and needs to be stronger about life and what it hands you, because she seems to cry about everything, or she gets bent out of shape about everything. And she is also quite narcissistic. Candace tends to think that everyone needs to come over to her side. That is the way that a narcissist thinks. Everyone needs to come over to her side, and she doesn't even try to see how she plays a role of responsibility in how she affects certain situations. So I digress on that as well. Her mom calls while she is there, and Chris, I guess, sticks his head in the phone, and her mom is like, "Is he there in the middle of the day? Is Chris home in the middle of the day?" Yes, Dorothy, Chris is home in the middle of the day because Chris doesn't work. We all know that Chris does not work. I don't understand. If he is so good at all these recipes and all of this, there are all kinds of ways that he can partner with other people who are chefs. He can partner with other people in television. This is his opportunity, being on Bravo, to make those connections and build his business. However, I don't see him doing even that, trying to create other ways to make his business known. I never see him sitting down at a computer creating recipes, since he's supposed to be the chef. Where did he go to school? Did he go to Johnson and Wells to be a chef? It's like it's all so perplexing to me. He's from one thing to the other, you know. But anyway, Dorothy wants to know basically, in other words, why is your ass not at a job somewhere? you know. Um, but anyway, Dorothy asks her how is the music going, and Candace lets her know that Chris is going to be her manager. And Dorothy says that she's the one who, Candace is the one who brings it up, right? Um, so Candace's mom just says that Chris is using her for his sole income. She basically tells Candace that Chris is using you for his sole income, because she isn't seeing him do anything, and those of us who are viewers are not seeing it either. So, you know, Candace wanted her mom to mind her business, but my thought process in that is, if you wanted your mom to mind her own business, you should not have brought it up. Okay, don't bring it up, because you know how Dorothy is. So it goes over to Karen's place, and Wendy is getting ready to visit Karen because she wants to get some advice from Karen about this new home essentials business that she started. And so Wendy enters in and she says, when you are grown women in a new space in your life, you're able to get beyond some of the issues that you had with each other. Okay, that is the smartest thing that she said on this show. I agree with that. So Karen tells Wendy, you are in a different place nowadays. And Wendy's like, that's because I'm Zen Wen. I was so bored with that. I'm like, girl, really? Yeah. So yeah, I agree, Natalie. I think that she has had. Do you think she's had too much plastic surgery, or that she's just not really keeping it up well? I think that she's not keeping it up well. And you know what? When you look at her history, I think the plastic surgery may be a way of her comforting herself. That's a painful thing when you are a young girl. Like, it, I grew up with my parents, right? So, but if if I had not grown up with my mom, I would just be devastated because as a little girl, I remember loving her more than anything in the world. I remember she was like, she was the apple of my eye, my mom. But then as you grow older, and you get your own life, and you're able to um, love your mom. Like I was able to still love her. She was still the apple of my eye, but you're able to grow up with them, right? And so if you do have differences, at least you had the opportunity to have those differences with your mom. People who are put in the position where Mia is didn't even get that opportunity. So that's sad to me. She didn't get the opportunity to be in different spaces with her mother. Her mother stole that from her, and it's not fair to her. And at some point, Mia is going to have to understand that it's never going to be. It's never going to be because drugs, there are certain parts of your brain, even with all the billions of cells there are certain parts of your brain that sometimes if drugs gets a hold of it, it takes it away forever. It takes away that cognitive part of your brain forever and you don't get it back. It burns it out. So at some point, Mia's going to have to deal with the fact that her mother is is just not going to be there. That it's not going to happen, and she's going to have to step into a role of forgiveness and trying to be as much as she can be in that relationship. I don't think that she should shut it out, though. I don't think she should shut it out at all. Um, so I digress on that. Um, so Karen tells Wendy she is in a different place, and Wendy's Zen Win. Okay. Um, Wendy tells Karen that she wants to be the Black Martha Stewart, and yeah, I just do not see that happening. I don't think that Wendy can be the Black Martha Stewart, and but dare I to rain on anyone else's dreams? Okay. I'm just not into people wanting to be the black this or the white that. Why can't you just be Wendy with a home essentials line with your own idea about how you want that to look? Even the candle that she showed to Karen, that candle needs a different packaging. That was horrible. That was horrible. And the reason it was horrible is because it's already been done. If she's going to do a candle, she needs to do something very different because that market is saturated for real. It's really saturated. I can go to Walmart and see that same candle and not know the difference. I do like the name, Onye. I do not know what Onye means, but I do like the name. And so I digress with that. Um, da, 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 da. I did love Wendy's confessional. When she was at Karen's house, the cameras went over to her confessional, and I liked the purple that she had on. Her hair and makeup was on fleek. It looked really beautiful. So I liked that look on her. So then it goes back to Mia's house. Mia's sons, Joshua and Jeremiah. I don't know if you guys noticed, but those are Bible names and they are so cute. They're so adorable. She and Gordon, this is the scene where they're discussing her mom a little more in detail and about their addictions. And I just don't want Mia to miss opportunities, uh, because there are so many opportunities that have already been missed with her mom that I know that she's feeling like she doesn't want to have to deal with her anymore. I do believe that she should leave the door open and move on and try to find a way. I don't know if she's had therapy in the process of all of this because she ended up in foster care, guys. And foster parents are the worst. I don't know a good foster parent. I don't. And I know of some foster parents. I watched a foster parent one time, and this foster parent doesn't speak to me anymore, right? I had to call the state on her. She slapped her daughter so hard in front of me, slapped her so hard that the girl's food, the dad had they had just gone through a drive-through to get some food. It knocked the girl's food out of her hand and onto the floor, and I'm sitting there wanting to be in tears and shock and not knowing what to do. So she hasn't spoken to me because I did call the state on her. I would have taken that little girl myself had I been able to or in the position to do so, but I was not. But I don't know of a good foster parent, you guys. And let me tell you, this person who slapped that little girl that I'm telling you about was a probation officer. She worked for the state as a probation officer. I tell you, child. Anyway, but anyway, we're not friends anymore. But that happens in life. I'm cool with that. You know, you can't be slapping people, little babies around in front of me. But anyway, I digress. That may have been too much information for your ears, but that happens with me sometimes on here. I get carried away with myself. But she and Gordon, you know, they're having their discussion. Then next scene goes to Karen's house where to Candace's house where Karen has prepared to meet her. They're going to discuss their relationship. So Candace, I like Candace's house. I'm glad that Candace is, you know, happy that she's in a good place now. However, I did hear that allegedly that home is also in Dorothy's name. So I don't know. I don't know. Her and Chris can't seem to get from under her mother's wings as much as she's trying. If I was Dorothy, I would just make them stay in a condo. They would have to like really uh they would have to duke this one out. You go do the best you can as a married couple, build things on your own, because as a married couple they're not going to be able to grow unless she just allows them to go on and struggle and do whatever they can do and stop trying to live like the Joneses, you know. But anyway, I digress. uh, I guess the refreshments or whatever they had on the table were done by Chris. There were grapes, cheese, there was tea. I mean, if that was put together by Chris, I mean, I'm eating grapes now. Even though I'm having coffee, I have grapes. Okay, mm, I love grapes. But anyway, Karen says that she senses a sense of peace with Candace, right? And Candace wants to define how they move forward in their relationship. Karen tells Candace that she felt like she was in the middle, and she's referencing all of the action that went down between Monique and Candace last season. And she goes on to tell Candace that she does not regret her decision. And I was like, you go, Karen. Because when you get to be women of a particular age, as Karen and I are, um, whatever it is that I'm saying to you, that is what I mean in that moment. It's not anything I have to think about. It's based on experiences and whatever it is that I'm the decision I'm giving you that I've made, that is the decision that I have made. Can I be swayed? Yes, because I'm not closed-minded, right? But I really love that Karen did not go backwards on letting Candace know, listen, I don't regret it. You know, and then Candace has the audacity in her confessional to say that Karen is not a good friend. And that's not true. Karen is a good friend. And she, of course, grabs that triangular Kleenex to wipe whatever it is that she is wiping because it was not a tear. I don't know what. Maybe she got something in her eye because I didn't see a tear in this scene. So she doesn't trust Karen, right? And Karen is good with that. Karen says that that's fine. I understand that. I love Karen's maturity. I do. I love it. She represents she represents greatness, really, for Black women. I really like her. She is the queen to me. Okay. Um, Candace says in her confessional again, "You are not capable of being a friend." And that is just not true again. Karen is very capable of being a friend. Candace is not capable of accepting the truth. She's not capable of accepting the truth. So um, they go to, the scene goes to the Woodhouse Day Spa. That's where Giselle is given this event for Ashley. They show Mia, okay? And you know what? I am going to need Mia to know when to hold them and know when to fold them because her communication is quite inconsistent. The issue with her age was inconsistent. The issue with what she meant whenever she said Giselle is just a pretty face is inconsistent. I'm going to need her to, and then the issue comes up in this scene when she's talking about her history and people are calling her an escort. So she needs to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Okay. So they're at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and Giselle says Ashley is everyone's little sunshine. So that's why she chose yellow. Candace tells Giselle about her lunch with Karen. And so, they have that little conversation. That's a small conversation. And then Wendy walks in with her boobs hanging out, and Giselle is like, "Look, Wendy, we don't need to see your boobs every time we see you." Okay. So Ascala comes in, then Karen comes in, and Giselle is staring down Karen. And then it goes into her confessional where she says that she's not here for Karen at all. And it looks like Giselle, the feeling is mutual. Karen is also not there for you. Uh, the thing that got to me about Mia as well, I get that you want people to accept you or you want to mend fences, so to speak. But until I mend those fences, I'm not going to sit right beside you. Mia walks in and she sits right beside Wendy. And you guys, I really think that whenever you see certain behaviors in people, they are trying to fill voids. And I believe that the fact that she even chose to sit beside Wendy after the way Wendy mistreated her was demonstrative of her need for some sort of discipline in her life because she gravitated towards sitting there, right? Which to me was psychologically speaking, her need for some sort of discipline because she missed out on that. Remember, her parents were not there for her. And I believe that when you see that kind of behavior in adults where they're gravitating towards certain characters, then that really has to do because I never would have gravitated towards Wendy. Listen, I'm good with my discipline. I don't need Miss Wendy to put me in my place at all. Okay. Um, but anyway, so Giselle starts to play a game for them. She wants them to. She has these enlarged photos of each of the women when they were pregnant with their children, with one of their children, and they are supposed. She only shows the belly, and they're supposed to guess whose belly it is in the photo. So, I will say this: Karen was so beautiful pregnant. She was absolutely beautiful. No wonder Ray picked her. He saw her at the Congressional Black Caucus event and picked her. And then they showed Giselle. Giselle is just hanging out like she's saying, "Look, I'm pregnant and your dad cheated on me again." Now, you know, I'm going, she just looked like she was wore out. Not a whole lot about her in her pregnant photo changed in terms of her looks. Ashley was cute pregnant. And Mia looked gorgeous pregnant. She was on the beach with her oldest son there with her. So anyway, Wendy and Mia end up going back and forth, but Mia brings it up. As you can see, she starts talking about the disagreement that they had. And Wendy starts telling her about her hands being in her face and that she didn't want her to do that. And Mia tells Wendy, well, you can't tell me how to act because this is my demure. Okay, really, Mia? Oh my goodness. But anyway, Wendy goes, you know what? When we were at Karen's house, I didn't have time for you, but I got time for you today. I got time for you today. I am Zen when tick tock. She said a whole bunch of other corny stuff. Let's see. So you thought Giselle looked miserable, Natalie? She did look miserable in her pregnant photo, didn't she? I just, she did. I don't know why she chose that one to give. Maybe if that was her best one, then, shout out to her. Okay. um, did you guys notice when Mia and Wendy were arguing though, Wendy's hands, okay, she had all of her other body parts done and upgraded. She needs to upgrade her hands. She really needs to upgrade her hands. I'm going, whoa, honey, you're younger than me, and I could literally do a Dove commercial with my hands. Wendy needs, I don't know what's going on with her. She needs to like look at the whole picture. And at one point, I kind of thought Wendy might be a colorist. Remember, I said that in my previous video. I do believe on set, when Wendy sees beautiful women, that she's intimidated on set. And I believe that's what happened with her and Mia, because that same thing happened with her and Ashley last year. It did not happen with her and Giselle because she did her research and she knew Giselle was a Alpha Kappa Alpha, just like her. They're both AKAs. So she didn't have that energy with Giselle. But she is going to have it this year. That's the buildup of this. Okay. The buildup is that Wendy and Giselle are going to battle it out, and that ain't going to look good. And the reality is, I'm going to tell you this with these Black sororities and fraternities. They're not supposed to be doing that on television. If they have an issue, AKAs, they've signed things. Okay. They're sisters for life. So if Wendy or Giselle have an issue with each other, they're supposed to handle that differently, even in the public eye. It's, you know, I digress on that. Okay. So, uh, but someone needs to tell Wendy the meaning of Zen. Okay. Because I have not seen Zen out of Wendy yet. Wendy has been up in arms since the season began. So I want to see the Zen. Okay. Um, so Mia decides she's not going to have this debate with Wendy. And she gets up and she walks away. And she's like, Jiminy Crickets. Okay. Hence the name of this episode. Okay. It's called Jiminy Crickets, season 6, episode 3. So when she leaves, I'm sorry, Wendy and Giselle have the opportunity to talk about her. And Giselle is telling Wendy that she needs to stop being so interrupted because she couldn't hear what they were saying because Wendy was being so interruptive and over talking. So she couldn't even hear Mia talk about what it was that was bothering her about Wendy. And Wendy tells Giselle, can we please stop the banter here? So she wants Giselle to cool it. And then in her confessional, she says, obviously, Giselle and Robin don't have her back because the reason she was in a debate with Mia is because she was having Giselle's back. But clearly, Giselle does not have her back. I'm glad you finally figured that out, honey. Giselle doesn't really even have Robin's back, okay? Giselle is in the relationship with Robin because she wants Robin to have her back. Okay. Okay. That's how that goes. She wants Robin to have her back. I want Giselle and Robin to have a breakdown. And I think that's going to happen very fast because Robin does want to stay on this show. And as you can see in her confessionals, she has given some talk back to Giselle. She's being a little antagonistic to Giselle in certain parts. And that started about 2 seasons ago. She started, speaking up a little bit, and it's growing. And I think eventually that bubble is going to burst between her and Giselle. And that needs to happen because Robin right now is really on her way out the door. No one wants to keep watching you eat Giselle's shish. We don't want to keep watching that. It looks disgusting and ridiculous. So I digress on that. They switched to a scene where Karen and Mia are now in the spot together. And this is where we really get a close up on Mia's skin, you guys. Mia is beautiful. If her skin was smoother, and maybe she needs to talk to Karen about that, because when I was looking at that camera, Karen's skin was plush. It's beautiful. It's flawless. It's smooth. Okay. And there was a huge difference between her skin and Mia's skin. And Karen is way older than Mia. Okay. Because Karen and I both are in our 50s. Okay. And Mia, I think, is at least in her 40s or, late 30s, early 40s. I don't know. She said she was 36, but then her husband's 38 years older than her. It's just a whole the numbers are really just getting discombobulated all over the place. But I can tell you she lied, okay? um so Candace and Wendy are talking, and Candace in this scene is trying to be a really good friend to Wendy because she's saying to Wendy, "Listen, I don't want you to let Mia get to you." And Wendy, I'm sorry, Wendy doesn't even get that message that someone is saying to her, "Listen, calm down. You're making too much out of this." It's like Mia walks in the room and you get a hard on. It's like, "Girl, calm down. You cannot be that jealous and envious of a person. That mess will eat you alive." If the other person is really confident in themselves and you're jealous and envious of them, it's going to eat you alive because the other person ain't thinking about you. You don't matter to them. Jealousy is the devil, you guys, and it kills. It really does. And I don't like jealous people. That's why I can't take Wendy being jealous of Ashley, being jealous of Mia. It's just disgusting. Girl, go somewhere and get some confidence. Really. Um, at any rate, I digress. Okay, again. So a scala, uh, so let's see here. Giselle and Robin have a conversation and say that they want to get to know Mia without the presence of Karen. Well, in the succeeding episodes, we will see how that goes, right? They showed some scenes about how that goes in this episode. It's not going to go over well because Mia's not going to want to meet with them without Karen. And she feels like, well, you can't tell me who I can bring to lunch. But I'm going to go ahead and say this. People can tell if someone else invites you to lunch, they've invited you. Most of the time, at least in my circle, what that means is if I invite you to lunch, that means I'm paying. Not only am I paying, I can tell you who you can bring to lunch. Okay. So, Mia, I mean, get a clue, honey. And Giselle is an AKA, so she's up on the formalities of things, you guys. She knows the formality. No, regardless of how you see her act on this show, she understands how things are supposed to be done. But anyway, I digress. Uh, why did Ascala bring up Karen's drinking? Because they're all back in the room, right? And Ascala, out of nowhere, brings up Karen's drinking. Was that a desperation of Ascala to make her mark on wanting to be a housewife? Because that's not her business. Karen is not an alcoholic. I drink too. I'm not an alcoholic, you know? Um, then they go on and they start talking. Mia starts running her mouth, and this is the part where Mia needs to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Read the freaking room, okay? Why are you talking about your being a stripper and and working at a gentleman's club? It was not even part of the conversation. So Natalie, you said that she's had a lot. I'm pausing reading the comments now, you guys. Okay, yeah. She's been through a lot being only 36. I think that's what you're saying. Um So let's see. So, what do you think about Mia bringing up the part about being a stripper in the presence of these women at this type of event where it was supposed to be a spa day? Was that conversation, did she not read the room? You're at an event, it's a spa day, and you know these women already have an issue with your inconsistencies. So why do you now bring up the fact that you worked in a gentleman's club? And whenever Robin asks her, Robin says, "So that means that you're an escort. So that's an escort, right?" And she said, "Yes," right off the bat. But then she said yes, and then she changed the definition of an escort. Okay, I don't know. Mia, stripper, she met Gordon. She doesn't do poles. She only does five-star gentleman clubs. It, you know, but the ladies are catching on. Mia needs to pay attention to what she's saying in the presence of these women because this is really too much too soon, if you ask me. And Karen, because Karen is, upscale, right? Let's see. Hi, sir. Hi. Good morning. We're talking. I'm about to close this out because we're at the end of Real Housewives of Potomac. Um, I think Karen might start to distance herself from Mia because, as you can see, Karen did not know Mia's history. She brought Mia on the show probably because she saw that Mia was a businesswoman in Potomac. She owned she owns like different businesses up and down the East Coast. I think like a total of 5 of them. And her husband does very well. And that's what Karen saw. And that's what Karen brought onto the show. And now that the episodes have started and the cameras are filming, she's learning some other information about Mia, and Mia needs to know that Karen is not a woman that normally associates herself with strippers. And if that changes, then that's going to be a surprise to me because it would change something for me. Or at least I would have to have a conversation with you and say, listen, I'm not going to judge you because of your previous life because you've come a long way, but can we not discuss this in the presence of my friends right now? Because they are going to go in on you if you keep doing that. But it seems to be too late for that advice anyway, because Robin's already called her an escort. And Robin is hood, okay? Let's not get things twisted. Robin is a little bit hood. I don't even, how did Robin get to be a housewife? You thought Giselle left the party early because of what? I didn't see Giselle leave the party early because it ended after they started talking about that at to some point. I don't know. Maybe I have to look at it again. Um, at any rate, that's it, you guys. It comes on again tomorrow night, and we shall see how this all goes over, how it all plays out, what leads up to the interaction between Giselle and Wendy. And I really wish that Wendy was not going to be the pivotal point of this season because I'm really not that interested in Wendy. I wanted something else to happen, you know, maybe with Candace again. I don't know, but I wanted something else to happen. Um, at any rate, it is what it is. And I'm glad you guys caught me. And as always, you can click the like button, subscribe, click the notification button. From what I understand, there are people who are not getting the notifications from Black YouTubers over here on YouTube, which is owned by Google. Okay. And I don't have any music to send you guys out on. Oh, yes, I do. I have some music. I forgot I do. I didn't create any new music to send you out on, but I I do thank you for showing up. I wanted to bring some people on, but no one was in there. I don't know. In the future, if you guys want to come, if I'm doing a live and you want to come on live and have a conversation, just let me know, or maybe I'll put the link in the chat. Maybe that was my fault this time. I should have put the link in the chat for you to, click it and then get in the back room. and wait. I'll call it the green room. Get in the green room and wait and that kind of thing. I'm also thinking of creating a back channel because I do want to talk about some employment things, but I don't want to use this channel to do it on. And you guys, when I'm talking to you about my employment issues, I'm not really sad. I'm just talking about them because they are bizarre and you're not going to believe some of them. I want to chronicle them, even some of the things that happened this week. It's just really pathetic, the things that people in the workplace do. They are pathetic, and I just want to share those experiences with you. But at any rate, as well, I thank you guys for showing up. I really appreciate it. And I guess I will see you in the next one. Have a great weekend. Be blessed. I'll be on again doing Real Housewives of New York later on, probably in the next couple of hours. And I'll also do Love and Marriage Huntsville. That comes on tonight. I love Love and Marriage Huntsville. So thank you for joining me live Saturday morning, coffee with Breezy, and many blessings to you.